All right, so we've been talking about some of the new measures that have been put into effect to try and curb the spread of the COVID-19 coronavirus. And one of those, of course, is places that serve alcohol. And a lot of restaurants and bars will now have to close at 6 o'clock in the evening until 9 the next morning if they serve alcohol. To talk about the impact of this new rule and others, especially in the hospitality industry, I'm now joined on the line by Wendy Alberts, who's the CEO of the Restaurants Association of South Africa. Wendy, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Your members, many of them, must be, on the one hand, understanding the situation, but on the other, distressed because this has a real economic impact on their well-being.
Absolutely, Peter. It's very uncertain times for the restaurant industry. And the one thing that I can certainly commend our industry on is the attempt to be completely responsible through the COVID-19 implementation of health and safety. Our restaurants have taken every necessary precaution to safeguard the customers and staff and to ensure that health and safety of everybody is a top priority. We've tracked all the guidelines worldwide to ensure that we do everything within our restaurants to slow down the curve and also to put us as a lower risk than some of the other communities that need attention to slow the curve down. So, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely important that, we get some clarity on what's going on with the lack of communication today.
Have you already started seeing anyway, before these regulations, people just shying away from restaurants more and more?
I think the key important aspect of that, there were patrons who still want to frequent restaurants, but they want to obviously feel that their safety is of the highest priority to restaurants. So we found there was somewhat a small decline, but it's taken a drastic turn obviously since Sunday, and obviously with the confusion going on in the press at the moment with the announcement of the gazetted legislation that came through last night. So that hit the industry without consultation, without communication. It hit us completely blindly. We were unaware that that was even going to be an encounter or a challenge for our restaurants that are operational through this time.
All right. Do you think that there could have been another way, instead of closing down outlets that sell alcohol at 6 p.m. at night right through to 9 a.m. the next morning?
Peter, there's huge confusion about it. Minister Kelly put a press release out a short moment ago confirming that restaurants can continue to sell food as long as they don't serve alcohol. So we're waiting for formal communication from the minister's office to be able to put this out, because we have various local police stations that are obviously sending out letters to the restaurants confirming that they will close them down permanently if they continue to trade. So it's this kind of miscommunication and unverified communication that is causing a huge amount of distress amongst our restaurants. They need to proper plan, they need to understand. We're very responsible. The seating arrangement now has been taken down to 50 people in an establishment. Our restaurants are compliant with that. They're compliant with the new liquor law that's been put in place to stop serving alcohol at 6 p.m. They want to be responsible. They do not want to create a gathering, but they also are providing an environment that is not medium risk. And again, we feel very targeted that we have to take these drastic actions when there are other areas and other consolidated areas that have not been attended to that are far higher risk than what we are. And I think this is the argument of many restauranciers at the moment, is that we all feel very uncertain about what the guidelines are, even though we've been in consultation with our own Minister of Tourism, who's been amazing in giving us information, the government, our local government departments, but then we're left in the dark when it comes from different government departments or a different sector of national government.
All right.
So at this point in time, we're anxiously waiting for a mandate from government to give us instruction on what is the trading hours of restaurants and whether or not they can continue to trade through the evening until close without selling alcohol.
All right, so mixed messages coming through from government, and you're saying you want one clear message and proper consultation with the industry. As you say, you're complying very much with rules at the moment and following global practice. All right, let's talk a little bit about, there are certain types of restaurants that we can call things like sports bars where they serve alcohol and food as well, but most people go there for a drink. These type of establishments are probably in danger, aren't they?
Absolutely. Those type of establishments, along with venues, along with the convention centres, they are places of gathering. And what the government is trying to do is to eliminate any place where people are looking at coming for a gathering. And that is why they've taken the consensus on the alcohol ban.
All right, so if this goes on for a prolonged period of time, is there a danger that many establishments who are already working on very tight margins may not make it to the other side?
There's so many concerning economical factors that are challenging the restaurant industry at the moment. So one is obviously, if we go into total shutdown, we will have approximately 2 million staff sitting at UIF on unpaid leave, which is a major concern for industry. We need to ensure that we can continue to keep our restaurants alive, that we keep the livelihood of our employees going as well. And it's imperative that we consistently and continuously reiterate that the safety of our customers and staff is of the most vital importance to us. Mm-hmm. And that it's safe for our diners to come into our restaurants as what it is for them to go and buy a bag of groceries. We've got all the necessary precautions that we consulted with and taken tracking and guidelines from worldwide practices. We're in consultation with some of the worldwide organizations that are giving us good constructive feedback. And that's imperative. The second part is we have encouraged our restaurants to talk to the landlords to freeze their leases and also to freeze the capex on the banks. We've consulted and encouraged our restaurants to talk to the banks to eliminate the credit card charges for the time being so we can be contactless. We've also spoken to the delivery, or tried to have consultation with the delivery services, the third-party delivery services, because they're not playing the part in the equation. So they're coming along and wanting to charge 27% plus VAT for restaurants to use their services. And this is very concerning, not only for that, because if we don't operate responsibly, we will be shut down. And the part for me that's most concerning with the third-party delivery is that the drivers are really irresponsible by nature. We all know that they have motorbikes that aren't roadworthy, or they drive recklessly, or they speed, and the manner in which they conduct themselves. So we've asked them to please give us some form of comfort and to let us know that they're following a guideline of health and safety standards, that they're not going to compromise the food safety of the industry. And in this food chain, they are going to operate and understand what their role and responsibility in ensuring safety to the homes is in their play.
Yeah. I get a sense from what you're saying is that you'd like everybody to work together, all hands on deck, to try and find a solution that works for everybody, including government and the authorities, and that this might be the way to try and save the industry.
Absolutely. We need to look at what the plan is going post COVID-19 and how we're going to survive that. And we employ a large number of people in the industry that need to stay working. They are sometimes a sole bread provider for 10 people. So we're encouraging patrons to continue to support our restaurants, to call for their takeout. A lot of our restaurants have gone now to doing collection services, so you can park in the car park and you can call the restaurant for your order, and the waiter will be a runner and he'll run out with your delivery, and you can do tap and go contact. So there's no contact in terms of the payment methods. So we've done a lot of good interventions, and we're looking for opportunities to survive through these difficult times. That's why communication for us is vitally important, for us to understand how and what the conditions of operation are.
All right. So just in conclusion, you gave us a clue a little bit earlier on when you said that you feel unfairly targeted and that other areas of gathering are not being treated in the same way. Which other areas of gathering do you think are being left alone and you being targeted unfairly?
we've put the necessary precautions in place. So we've done the social distancing. There are many other areas where they haven't done the social distancing. And I don't want to outline other industries and target them. That is not what my responsibility is. My responsibility is to inform the patrons and to inform through consultation with government and all the necessary local government departments that we are working to be responsible. We are here to lower the curve. We are here to ensure that we participate in consultation with the industry to ensure that we keep our restaurants going, that we track what is happening with our industry. We've got a 24-hour WhatsApp line that restaurants can report everything to, that we are providing good food safety, that our food handlers are safe. There's no current evidence or any information that suggests that any person has been infected with a virus through food. So we've got this information that's come through from our advisors on the world side. So we certainly are doing everything to safeguard our customers.
All right. Wendy Alberts, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on the programme. That's the CEO of the Restaurants Association of South Africa, who's saying that she'd like to get some clarity, particularly over this rule regarding the sale of alcohol by restaurants that have to shut down at 6 o'clock in the evening until 9 the next morning. She's saying that she's concerned because they're getting mixed signals that it could be that they could stay open if they serve only food but not alcohol.